I'm Deputy Chris, and today we're going to talk about defunding the police and 8 can't wait. Perhaps one of the dumbest ideas there's ever been. But before we get into that, I gotta have the right hat on. No. Much better. Defunding the police is basically taking the money and reallocating it to another place.
But why, Chris, is that such a bad thing? So all these cops can get big old scary guns?
No. It's for proper training, it's for proper equipment, and it's so you can pay your officers. You think it's bad now, wait till Barney dipshit with his bullets in his front pocket comes out and tries to protect your town. That's the level of law enforcement officers that you're going to end up with when you can't pay proper payroll, when you can't give them proper training, and you can't afford equipment such as body cams. Defunding the police is the complete opposite of what you want. It sounds good, it looks good on paper, but so did communism. You want training reforms? We want training reforms. Let's get training reforms. But you can't do that when you're broke. Whenever I went through defensive tactics 10 years ago, one of the things that they taught us was do not use the MFDP. For those of you who's not familiar with the MFDP, that's the monkey fuck dog pile. But we still see it, don't we? Now, I'm not being critical. I think more training would be awesome. I'd enjoy the hell out of it. But we can't do it if there is no funding. Now, I'm going to say something that's going to piss a few people off. What we need is officers who know how to fight, and fight well. Because if an officer knows how to fight, then he's less likely to go for his gun. An officer who's confident in his abilities and well trained is less likely to shoot versus an untrained, uneducated officer. And you want to take away the money for the training. So you take away money, less funding for officers, less funding for training, you get what you pay for, you end up with a bunch of Barney Fives and no Andy Griffith in sight. So now we're going to take a look at this whole 8 can't wait. And the first thing on the list is ban chokeholds and strangleholds. Most of your departments already have those banned, and the ones that don't, you can't use them unless there's certain circumstances and you are trained. That's like carrying a rifle. You can't carry a rifle if you haven't gone through training for it. There's some situations where if you have the proper training and funding, you need to use a chokehold versus the alternative. Next on the list is require de-escalation. Most officers do this. I do it on a daily basis. Every officer I work with does it on a daily basis. We don't just show up on a scene and be like, we're going to hype you up so we can thump your ass. That's asinine that's even in there. And then we look at require warning before shooting. Drop the gun, put your hands in the air, wave them around like you just don't care. Those are all warnings. Put the knife down. Don't come at me. Sir, stop. Those are warnings. Hopefully they're not talking about warning shots, because what goes up's got to come down. And I'm not going to be firing any warning shots anywhere where somebody else can be hurt. So they need to be a little more specific about that. Exhaust all other means before shooting. Well, yeah, of course. That's common sense. Now, there's situations that homeboy jumps out of a car and starts shooting at you. I'm not going to try to tase you. I'm not going to throw my baton at you. But officers don't just jump out and just start waving their guns around. And if they do, they need funding so they can be trained. Duty to intervene. I like that one. That's a good one. What happened on the George Floyd case was absolutely awful. And those officers who sat there and watched, to me, they're just as guilty. You have to be able to have your man's back. You have to have your brother's back. Legally. If they cross the line, they're not your brother no more. You need to handle your shit. I've said it once and I'll say it 100 times. There's no such thing as crooked cops. Just assholes with badges. If you're in a situation and it's wrong and you don't step up, you don't make the attempt, you're just a dickhead with a badge. You're not my brother. So duty to intervene. I like that. That can stay. So out of the 5 that we've went across so far, I like one of them. Ban shooting at moving vehicles. That's the same thing as the chokehold. Most of your departments have policy and procedure for that. Some of them say you don't do it at all. Some say there's special situations. Johnny Bad Guy takes off on you on a traffic stop and speeds off in his car. That's not a shoot situation. You don't shoot. If Johnny Bad Guy holds a handgun out the window and starts shooting at you, yeah. If your policy and procedures allows it, return fire. But they have to be responsible for every bullet that comes out of the gun. That's the thing about law enforcement. Every bullet that comes out your gun, you are responsible for. It's all about situation. A vehicle is a 2,500 pound bullet. That's the way you got to look at it. If it's coming at you, you're going to have to return fire, per policy and procedures. Require a use of force continuum. That's something every law enforcement officer in America has been taught. Use of force continuum is the standard. Some of these are absolutely ridiculous. The last one, require comprehensive reporting. Well, no shit. That's a report. 90% of the job is doing reports. It's doing the paperwork. If you want to talk about use of force reports, we have those too. We have our use of force report. We have our regular report, our daily log, every arrest you make. Some places you got to write a report over a ticket. So yeah, require comprehensive reporting. This is already being done. All of it. Duty to intervene is the only one that I really like. The rest of it's all being done, but it's still not enough. So let's go ahead and defund our cops, take their money, not give them proper training, and pat ourselves on the back because we done something. We took the cops' money. Man, America's going to end up with some shit cops. Some of y'all think it's shitty now. Man, y'all are in for a rude awakening. You know, I'm sitting here looking at this. At the top of this diagram, it says, data proves that together these 8 policies can decrease police violence by 72%. Unless duty to intervene is the 72%, these aren't going to do shit because they're already in place. Some food for thought, guys, because I love each and every one of you. If we don't put a cap on this, and we let this all go down, all the defunding the police, what's going to end up happening? You're fighting against corruption. I'm fighting against corruption. I hate corrupt cops. I'd love nothing more than to hook them up myself. I don't see them where I'm at. Let me be specific, because I work with a good group of guys. But if we turn around and we defund the police, you get what you pay for. You think it's corrupt now? Wait till all the good police leave. Guys, I know we got a little bit deep on this episode. This ain't what I typically do, but it's something that's been on my chest, something I've been wanting to speak out against. If I could help in any way, that's what I'm here to do. That's why I do my job. I'm just afraid of what's going to happen, what's going to end up happening. Because once the good guys leave, it's going to be nothing but bad guys. If you like what you see, drop me a like. If you want to chat about it, drop me a comment. And if you liked it enough and you want to see more of this, drop me a comment and hit that subscribe. On Sundays, which will be tomorrow for y'all, because I'll be putting this up on Saturday, I'll be streaming over in this general area. If I don't forget to add it in, be at 10 o'clock Central Time. Buckle your seatbelts, guys. I love each and every one of you. Kiss, kiss. Be safe.